Hello, my viewers. Welcome back to another CreepyPasta reading. Today we are reading Case 1944267001, Red Abyss. Pulling on the strong for the light, reacting in it, turning on, and showering the young girl in a brisk light. This being the only light source in the room. I soon make my way to my own seat, that was just across from hers, hoping to begin the interrogating. When I met with the cold metal of the seat from under my heavy clothing, I noted that a young girl, maybe no older than 6 years old, had her shoulders hunched up to her neck as if she were cold, even though there was a long, puffy brown blanket around her small body. Fear was the only explanation to her shivering. Soon enough, her mother's hand closed around her frame and comfortably rubbed where her arms are. Deciding now was a good time to begin, I scratched my throat, clearing it of any unneeded saliva. I spoke casually, but with a bit of comfort so I could get her to speak. Hello, Katie. My name is Mr. Richards. I'm a detective here, and I'm here to ask you a couple questions about the incident a few days ago. Is that okay? Slowly, Katie's head nodded, and she whimpered slightly, her eyes batting to hold back tears. I couldn't blame her for wanting to cry. From all the photos I've seen from this case, it wasn't pretty. This young girl had seen it first person. What exactly? This is what I'll have to work out of her, but I'll have to take it slow. She looks like she's about to break down in tears before she'll even utter a word. As soon as I opened my mouth to ask the first question, she stopped me by pushing a piece of paper with different colors drawn over it. I blinked in confusion. What is it? Slowly I reached for the piece of paper and folded it closer so I could see it better. I held it up to my eye level, and soon enough my eyes widened, abandoning my once perfect poker face. On the paper was a drawing of another little girl, if you could say it was a girl. I could only guess by the red ribbon and its white, messy, short hair that reached its neck and flew into her face. I couldn't depict much from the poor quality of the drawing due to Katie's inexperience in art. However, there was something that I could not depict that seemed that having held in the monster's hand. It was a crooked and lumpy pear-like circle. I placed it onto the desk and pushed it toward Katie, and facing her I point to the red little bundle in its hand. Can you tell me what this is, Katie? I forced kindness into my words, fearing hers to come. Maybe she was just lightening up the picture because it scared her too much. This wasn't the case at all. I learned for once I asked. Katie burst into tears and put a finger and placed it over the red crayon. With that I pointed at Mika. Once the name was heard, I stopped breathing. I felt as if a golf ball was in my throat and growing. I couldn't swallow my own spit. Mika was my case's victim, and more importantly, Katie's 4-year-old brother. Did this thing eat Mika? My field of vision was broken once I heard another choked cry, and I blinked to rid of the remaining daydream. Her mother was holding Katie as she clutched her shirt and sitting on her lap, bawling her eyes out, and her mother stroked her back. It wasn't only Katie that was crying either. Her mother seemed to break down in tears as well, but held back as she answered the question for her daughter. It's his interior organs. His heart, to be exact. Realizing I hadn't taken any air for a while, my lungs reacted to their normal pace, and I gulped in a quick pack of air. My eyes stung with the oncoming tears that I wanted to shed, but held back and forced myself to continue the interrogation. Journal entry number 1. First day of interrogation. Due to lack of communication between past and future uses of this case for paranormal or police interest, my doctor told me to use a video journal on my case. Case name, you heard at the beginning. Currently is in progress, and I'm flying solo. Honestly, there isn't much reason to play coolness. This whole thing is fucking scary as hell. Disgusting, too. On the same day, I was sure this was just some bullshit after a kid had a bad dream, but when I saw the blood that same day, I was proven wrong. The victim, Micaiah Stragenston, 5 years and 8 months of age before death, found dead in his own bedroom. His window is across from his bed, so the killer had a clean getaway and saw the victim when they first entered. Victim's mother informed that she had his window closed when he went to sleep and she left at 8 p.m. and didn't wake up until a scream was heard from her daughter's room. The information has been scarce from the daughter, Katie Stregenson, and little is known about the killer besides the drawing that was provided by the girl. Apparently she had seen the killer before their retreat and happened to memorize its appearance before it had left, then drew the picture. Due to the poor quality of the picture, I have not been able to depict exactly who the killer looked like. It seems human enough except for what seems to be a long appendage that slithers from its mouth and avoiding the sharp yellow teeth. Aside from those features, they seem to be smiling and two black holes make up the eyes with a small circle of red in the center. I plan to redraw the person after Katie has calmed down and grown accustomed to the situation so she could explain their appearance. Detective Richards saying end of entry. Update journal entry 2. The daughter hasn't accustomed enough to cooperate to be any of help to the investigation, and she insists that she have someone beside her at all times. I asked once if she would care to accompany me to clues in hopes of helping her become comfortable enough to help. She immediately denied and ran away. End of update. Update journal entry 3. It's nighttime, 11:43 p.m. to be exact, and I'm standing watch from my car at the Strungensen house. My shift is nearly over. A cop will be coming soon to replace my watch when I go home to sleep. I really doubt anything will really happen while you just sit here and watch this damn temporary house of theirs. They had to move out due to the crime scene. Until your eyeballs fall asleep even before your ass does. However, the director believes that the saying, killers always return to finish what they started. I think it's bullshit, honestly. How the hell is the creature supposed to find the family in this house? Especially with the security team enabled and cameras around the premises watching every move everybody makes inside, out, or outside. Oh well, the cop is here. I'll continue tomorrow. End of update. Update journal entry 4. Day 2 of the investigation. Just I expected. Nothing appeared from last night, but I found my laptop on and glowing as if someone had been using it at the station when I came in. I asked everyone around and they said they didn't touch it. When I realized flies were in the building, I went back and saw my laptop cover closed, and I remember not touching it in case of refreshing anyone's memory. The window was open and I closed it. I found something on the railing of it. Dried blood. End of update. Update journal entry number 38. It's been a week so far, but nothing appeared to happen, except Katie. She'd finally overcome the fear of her own shadow and was willing to help me redraw the killer's appearance. I only hope she could remember what it looked like from her drawing. The blood sample from my window didn't match any of our suspects' own or anyone else's. I checked over my laptop, but I found no fingerprints but my own and no trace of blood. I also checked my recent documents, but it was all blocked, and anything I could find of the investigation was tripled in copies. That was the first time that happened, and it was the only time. Who the hell would only triple all my pictures of the crime scene without indication that they'd done so and just leave everything alone otherwise? Whatever, it didn't even matter anyway. I deleted all the copied ones. End of update. Journal entry number 39. The drawing went well, and I could definitely recognize it now. However, it wasn't anything I ever expected before. It was human-like, but at the same time it wasn't. Almost animalistic, if you will. The appendage coming out from its mouth was longer than any animal tongue or human tongue I've ever seen. It could easily wrap around its own neck several times. Kitty explained it was covered in gooey, red, icky stuff, so I could only believe that it was blood. The teeth were again yellow again. Quote from Katie, sharp like a dog's teeth. The hair, she said, was white and really messy, and when we came to the eyes, they were just like in her drawing, black holes with a glowing red center. Constantly, I had to ask her if this was true and not if she was only making it up. Her reaction was, it's not, it's all what I could see. I am still unsure if she truly does think that it's only from her mind and not reality. No matter how many times I asked, she insists it was real. On with the drawing, I had to make the organs less ideal to the eye because Katie said she wasn't sure due to it being dark. I made them intestine and made it half noticeable. Now when I asked about what they wore, she remembered the red ribbon and told me that was a small tuft of her hair. She explained she was wearing a school uniform of black and white, long sleeves stained in red. I didn't put much of the blood due to the idea of scaring the young girl, but as far as it looked, I wasn't going to edit on it much, and I wasn't going to color due to the possibility of the colors running. In the end, it was a win-win situation. I had the killer's appearance, and Katie liked how I drew it as she wished. End of update. Update General Entry number 40. Katie and her mother were found dead today in their home. All the windows were smashed, the glass was stained in blood as were the walls, and only the door was undisturbed. Everything in the house was trashed, either thrown or dropped and damaged to no repair, or smashed and demolished completely. The smell was the worst of it. Blood, bodily digestion, and bleach mixed with perfume and burnt wood all mixed together. The two females were found in the kitchen. Wherever small thing from their stashes and cupboards were thrown off all over the floor, all covered somehow in blood or an exterior or interior body part. Right down to the bones and even veins were found. Their bodies were ever and whole, but were easily separated Katie's from her mother's thanks to her deep burns on the skins and black holes that were stabbed inside every single one of their organs and bones. Apparently she was thrown into the oven after she was messily dissected and spilled back onto the floor. Wood was found inside the oven as well, but barely enough was usable to preserve. I figure the killer had taken special care of the girl and the stove probably because she didn't want to ruin the masterpiece. There wasn't enough evidence to explain exactly what happened to the mother, but 5 cans of perfume bottles were found empty and in her broken down esophagus, and every single piece of her own skin was covered in each smell of the bottle labels. I'd have to do a comparison when I get back to the office, but right now I have to pick out the glass from within the organ. Bleach was found all over the kitchen ground, as well, and the house, walls, ceiling, floors, and doors. I figure the killer was daring us and tempting us to just burn it all, but that could lead us to being the next targets. I never found out what gave the killer the idea to target this family from my earlier updates, but something tells me it wasn't ever personal. Perhaps she randomly chooses, enjoying the idea of slowly demolishing all hope for good nights for people in this town. Whatever the reason, the one seems to stick the most to possibly being correct. Another voice is heard farther away from the speaker saying, "Detective Richards, you may want to see this." So far, the house has been fine, though I've checked only 3 major rooms. And I'm going to check Katie's room according to her door tag. The sound of someone puking sounds. Oh, God! Another puking sound slowly fades to beeping sound. Ending of update. Update journal entry number 41. I didn't get to finish my last journal update, so I will now. It was horrifying. Inside the bedroom were all of my co-workers at the station that I work for. 4 good men were hung against the wall by their throats with their own belts that were impaled by their own police dog teeth. Plastic bags that seemed to silence their screams before they stopped moving entirely. But I hadn't gotten to analyze the cause of death, so that's only a hypothesis. Their skins were stapled to the wall, revealing their interior selves, and some pulled out onto the ground that hung so far below them. Their only clothing were their jeans, but blunt force was made upon their legs, leaving their full bodies covered in blood from all the torture they'd went through. Trust me, I didn't mean to end it there, but that was the only time I'd puked today. In total, 6 people had died within that house that day, and 5 dogs were found mutilated and each of their teeth removed by blunt force. The house was quarantined until all pieces of the crime are collected and the case is over. I don't think I can continue this anymore. I've seen enough blood and guts to last me a lifetime just inside that one house. I'm going to quit this job after tonight. I'm deleting all the investigation photos right now. Wait. I never scanned that drawing. I swore I didn't color it either. I couldn't have done it in my sleep. Someone had to... Wait. Could all of the guys been here last night? No, the killer couldn't have. Unless they could have. The killer finished this drawing. She scanned it. She kidnapped and killed all those men in one night. And no one saw her? But then why isn't there any blood on the keyboard? I'm going to check the security camera footage before I go crazy. End of update. Update, screw it. Just let me confirm that there was someone here. I can't believe I didn't do this sooner. I started on Tuesday when I saw the blood on the window pane when my laptop was on and then closed. Sure enough, it was her. Kay was exactly right with her appearance, exactly how I drew it. I can't even say it's a she. That thing is a fucking monster. When I went to last night's footage, the first thing I saw was that fucking beast's face. It was smiling sinisterly, and it made my spine tingle in fear. I couldn't look away. It's shocking, disturbing. I barely caught it that it held up a piece of paper that had writing on it, though it was sloppy. The paper said, "Call me Red Abyss." The paper was moved away from the thing that's blocking his face. It showed only its smile, the smile I knew would haunt my dreams forever now. I was just about to click out of it to call it all, end it all, but then its mouth opened and out slithered its freakishly long appendage, and I knew it was its true tongue. It wiggled it until it went over the lens and everything went fucked. It must have turned off all of them at once, because I checked all the others and it was the same damn thing over and over. When I finally went to forward today, the focus wasn't back. It's all gone. The cameras will no longer work, and all that will be shown is just static until they die of battery. I'm going home. I need to get my head straight. That damn thing face is still in my freaking head. Journal entry number 1. I've looked through every single one of these entries, and the information that Detective Richards has collected has been of much help. Today, Richards was found dead in his bedroom. Fellow Detective Matthews discovered his body and a friend of the victim before his death. I'm from a nearby town, and my name is Detective Jameson, and I will be ending this journal for Richards myself. I will continue his work and investigate every single one of Red Abyss attacks around the rest of the country. Richards either forgot to mention or didn't happen to know that this wasn't the only town Red Abyss has attacked upon. It seems hard to believe, but those mysterious killings of people you find around your neighborhood whose killers are unknown and probably will never be solved. That's her. Red Abyss can kill as she wants, when she wants, where she wants. So far we have found no meaningful information as to why, except the idea of lust for blood or seeing the pain as whom she kills. Her gender isn't truly known as female or any sex at all, but it seems close to feminine, as we could understand. As for Detective Richards' death scene, it seems more basic than any other killing she had made. 5 stabs to the chest and suffocation due to weight of something or someone against his chest helped him die more quickly. The only thing unordinary was the writing in blood above Richards' bed, which reads, "Found me." I believe her reasoning for it was to distract him, as she most likely snuck behind him. Her reason must have been that she knew about the investigation, and I'm most likely in danger as well for taking on his work. That's why I'm posting it here, so the world will know about this beastly killer, and you know the story. Remember the name. Remember to never let your guard down. Hope you guys enjoyed the story. See you in the next one I read. Also, sorry for not posting anything recently. My girlfriend kind of broke up with me, so I've been kind of recovering from that.